On this episode of Taskforce Geek, we talk about our first impressions of WandaVision. We discuss the fall of Cyberpunk 2077. We enter the rumor mill about Chris Evans returning to the MCU as Captain America. And our Quora question tonight is, what franchise needs to be put to rest? Be thinking on that. That's all coming up now. Welcome to Task Force Geek. My name is Dirk Hooper, and someone is getting a message. I am joined tonight by Scott.
Howdy.
And Sean.
Yo.
And Walt, who's getting messages.
How you doing?
Wow, we got a lot of people coming in on this feed all of a sudden.
Actually, that was the Twitch alert alerting me that we are on Twitch right now.
Yes. Look, I'm mixing things up tonight, folks, and there's a method to my madness. So I might as well just say we are broadcasting live from my Facebook account, which is that right there. We are also broadcasting from my Twitter and Periscope accounts, which is that right there. And finally, we are on Twitch tonight because what I'm going to do is take this broadcast and then post it as a complete, broadcast on YouTube instead of having it as a live broadcast and converting it to a regular broadcast. See if we get maybe a little bit more activity on there. We'll see. It's just an experiment. We'll try it for a few weeks and see what happens.
So we're not live on YouTube.
We are not live on YouTube. How about that?
That's gonna kill Gigi.
Well, he needs to get on Facebook like everyone else who wants to see us live. Ken says yo. And Steve says, hiya.
Yo, hiya.
How about that? How's that treating you? All right, let's get on with the first section. And that's coming up right now. If I can find the silly thing, it's always a pain. Here it comes. All right, over the weekend, we had the premiere of the first thing from the fourth phase of the MCU, and it is WandaVision. Out of the four of us here, who has seen the first two episodes? Anyone? I know that Sean has. All right, we got a full deck here. I don't necessarily.
Did you not watch it?
We need to. No, I watched it. I don't say we necessarily need to spoil anything, but I think we can talk about it without spoiling too terribly much. But be warned,
a lot to be spoiled at this point, right?
Be warned that we are going to be talking about this subject, frankly, or whatever. Basically, I just want your first impressions of what's going on, and if you have an idea of where they're going with this thing. And so I'm going to go to Walt first.
I have no idea where they're going to go with this thing, but the fact that it's only 30 minutes an episode, which is
Scott's got to like that.
Scott, the first thing I thought about was Scott is going to love this.
That might be the only reason I watched it.
And the fact that they're looking at that they're basically spoofing old.
Jury says we're looking good.
Thank you very much.
We'll take that anytime.
The fact that they're spoofing old sitcoms is really refreshing. I'll put it that way. I have no idea as to where they're going with this. I did notice all the little nuggets because they're chock full of nuggets.
It is chock full of nuggets.
Chock full of nuggets. If you're familiar with the Marvel universe, there are several nuggets.
Yep.
In these first two episodes,
you can throw out some of those if you want.
I'm not going to throw them out.
All right.
I'm not gonna. But I will say that I was a little bit surprised. Actually, not surprised that one of the consultants for the show is Dick Van Dyke.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Yes, Dick Van Dyke himself.
Wow, I did not know that.
Is one of the consultants for the show.
Interesting.
And when I saw that, I was like, I'm definitely, I'm in. I'm hooked.
All right, that's something I hadn't heard. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think he chimed in on the first episode.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, that was the one that looked like the Dick Van Dyke Show, so that's highly appropriate. Sean, what did you think? And do you know where they're going with this thing?
This is weird. This is really weird. Where they're going, I don't know, but I'm enjoying the ride. It's weird. It's really weird. You can tell that they're laying the foundation for it, for a bigger story. Obviously, I'm really hoping that at some point they'll bring in Aaron Taylor Johnson. I always liked his Quicksilver. I would love to see them bring him back into the MCU.
Keep talking about this could be the thing that could do that.
Right. And the one thing that I've read online and some people talking about is the possibility of Mephisto being behind all of this. Now, I think that's a swerve. I think that they're going to go in a different direction than that. I think that's going to be our what is it, red herring? Who knows?
Right.
But again, I'm enjoying the ride. It reminds me of the crazy and wackiness of Legion, and I really enjoyed that. So
it does have some elements of that. Scott, what do you think?
It's funny you guys mentioned you guys thought the very first episode was reminiscence of Dick Van Dyke.
It was.
Yeah.
Okay.
In fact,
to be fair, I know I've watched some Dick Van Dyke. I just don't remember it. I took it more as a kind of maybe almost like a I Love Lucy or something like that. But
same era.
Yeah.
I know it's the same era, but I'm talking about like I didn't feel like they actually tried to like copy one specific show, just an era.
They didn't.
Now the second episode was obviously way more as it was very clear that it was like a Bewitched type episode,
right,
from the very beginning. And I kind of hope that like the next one's like, one day at a time or something.
I think
in the 70s.
I think the next one's going to be the Brady Bunch.
I believe
that's what I heard too. That's what somebody was saying. But I hope we get a 70s and an 80s and a 90s and even like a early 2000s show. That would be pretty cool to me. As to where this is going, I really don't know. There's speculation. There's obviously the reoccurring character of Agnes, which is probably short for Agatha Harkness,
Yep.
who was always in the the comics and stuff. She helped watch the kids when Vision and Scarlet Witch had synthoid fake demon baby things back in the day that she made up.
I love how you describe that.
But are real, because now she has two kids that are Wiccan and Speed. So who knows? It's very different. I'm very happy that it was like 40 minutes and 30-minute episodes. That's right up my alley. So they, somebody was saying like, why did they drop, I wonder why they dropped 2 episodes. And then after seeing the first episode, I was like, they had to drop 2 because Jennifer was like, this sucks. This is terrible. I don't know what the crap this is.
I think they could have dropped 3. That's actually kind of one of my points, actually.
Yeah, they almost had to, and better to do 2 separate little episodes than, to me, one big long episode of what they gave us would have turned off a lot of people. Now, it was different and unique enough that I actually kind of enjoyed it because I had no clue where they're going. Even with the Easter eggs, it's like, they could go this way or this way or this way. And like, exactly. I don't have a clue. And, and that's pretty good if you read comics as long as we have, and they're just doing something unique and different. And I told Jennifer, I was like, the actors have to love this because they get to show their range.
Right.
And all these different eras and stuff like this for more upcoming work, So anyways, I don't hate it. And, if they're going to keep doing Marvel shows and stuff, I hope they're at least 30 minutes long, because my girlfriend wants me to watch a show with her, as some bonding time. And I don't hate it, but like, man, sitting me down for like an hour plus is hard. So
it does have about 46 minutes of credits.
Yeah.
There's several things that I thought about on this. This is described as a big swing for Marvel, and it definitely is that. This is something that's very much unlike anything that we've seen before. Because of the format, this is the first time we've seen anything from Marvel from the MCU directly with Marvel, and it has both the benefit of being long form format, so you're going to get I guess 8 episodes or something on this thing, maybe 10, I don't know. So you've got a long format. They can take time to tell the story, but you're already hearing some frustration from some people who are Marvel fans that are going like, when does the punching start? And, so you have that issue. And also you've got this very strange setup here for this series. And a lot of people are, the question is, how many people are hanging in there, even at 30-minute episodes, to see what's going on? There's some weird stuff that's happening in this deal. And I think that some people rightly assume that it's going to continue to get weird as it goes along. So I think that there will be a reward at the end of it, but hopefully that, people will stick around long enough to see what the reward is. If they released all the episodes at once, people could have binged it and figured out what was going on and stuff, and they wouldn't be wondering, is it going to be worth the time? They could have figured it out by now. And, people who are frustrated with this pace or the fact that it's a comedy series or something, they might they might have had that assuaged by being able to see all 8 episodes. Hey, who knew that Paul Bettany was such a great comic actor? I mean, that guy, I don't know how ABC or whoever's making comedy series doesn't call that guy up immediately and go, we got to get you in a series.
Or as a guest spot. Yeah.
Seriously. I mean, this guy is amazing. He's really good. Elizabeth Olsen was good too, but I mean, Paul Bettany was way off the charts, how good his comic timing and his delivery was on this stuff. And this is old stuff. This is not the, kind of modern Tina Fey type stuff that's, rapid fire jokes and real edgy and stuff. This is old school comedy bits that they pretty much played straight as can be. There's some weirdness in it, but for the first 2 episodes, it's just basically old comedy episodes. And wow, Paul Bettany is really good. Yeah. He really kind of, he blew me away on this.
Does our age in process into this equation though? Because we grew up, like not having cable, but watching reruns of these. So we didn't mind this.
The source material.
I mean, episode 2 was much better and actually like a really good episode.
Yeah.
I mean, like if that was an episode of Bewitched and we, hey, let's sit down and watch this, and I'd be griping. I'd be like, let's not watch Bewitched. Then we'd watch it. I go, that was pretty good. That was pretty funny.
It's well constructed, but it is pretty much straightforward.
That's
old comedy.
That's one of the complaints that I was seeing on Twitter from, and I hate to use this word for those of you out there who hit this demographic. A lot of millennials were complaining because they didn't get
pacing.
The pacing and not getting the source material.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
And exactly. And I recommend going to, was it MeTV or whatever it is, and watching some of those old school black and white sitcoms, even some 60s and 70s sitcoms, and you'll get it. And just binge watch them. I mean, you can even watch was it the Andy Griffith Show? I mean, there's elements of all these old shows in these first 2 episodes. And for me, that was enjoyable because those shows were my after school TV watching.
We watched it because it was on TV. We were happy.
Before cable. Yeah. Before the internet.
Before the internet. Exactly.
Steve says this will make Paul Bettany even larger. I totally agree. I mean, he's so straight.
How old is that guy?
As Vision.
He's about as old as us.
This really allowed him to shine. Wow, he really shined in this deal. Jerry says Paul Bettany's awesome in Wimbledon.
And
he's good in First Night. Someone said that to me today. It was actually, I was watching The Great Council, G. Laguerre's show today, and they were talking about First Night.
Even Elizabeth watched it. And even Elizabeth Olsen's performance.
Oh, I'm sorry, not First Night, Knight's Tale. Ken just corrected me.
Yeah, and even Elizabeth Olsen's
Knight's Tale in Wimbledon
performance is good too. So, everybody involved, even the sub characters are actually enjoyable. So,
yeah, for sure. I heard something. This is not my theory. This is something that I picked up. Usually, when you show a watch, the hands are at 10 and 2. That's just the standard way that you display a watch, particularly in an ad. In the case where they showed the watch, which obviously had some Hydra stuff and it mentioned Strucker and all this sort of stuff, it was set at 242. Avengers 242 happens to be the return of Vision, where Vision gets his body back, right? Which might be of some relevance because he died, obviously.
He's been dead 555 times.
I mean, he's a robot. So, I mean, it's not that tough to bring a robot back.
I would dare say that you could probably go minute by minute through each and every single one of these episodes and find some sort of
the address, the house address on their mailbox was 616.
Oh, that's interesting.
So there's all sorts of little nuggets thrown
for people who don't know. Earth 616 is supposed to be our universe, or it's supposed to be the Marvel universe, or whatever, the comic universe.
The proper comic universe, right?
Yeah, the proper.
If you're looking at like the multiverse or whatever, 616 is supposed to be, where Spider-Man and Iron Man and all the people are.
And that comes from an old storyline back in Captain Britain that Alan Moore created all the different tangents and gave him numbers. So,
and being about to go into the multiverse.
Yeah.
The thing also about Avengers 242 is that it includes the Beyonder, and the Beyonder kicked off Secret Wars. All of this seems to be plausible as something where you could be, building up the Beyonder as being one of the big bad guys in the Marvel universe. And I don't think there's any doubt that they are moving towards Secret Wars with everything that they're doing right now. I think just like, Civil War was in the last 10-year period or something. I don't think there's any doubt that we're going to get Secret Wars somewhere in this mix. People have mentioned Mephisto. I think someone did here. I think there's a possibility, who knows, that we might get Mephisto, that maybe he's messing with her or something. I think it's interesting so far. It made me laugh. I was in a room with three other guys who laughed at the thing. I mean, it's funny. We know that she is hurting, because she lost Vision. So whatever is happening here, whether she's creating these scenarios or whether she's being guided to create these scenarios, whether she's warping reality, I don't know. But she's dealing. This is maybe intentionally therapeutic or maybe not. I don't know. So those are my thoughts on this thing. Jerry says, thank you for clarifying 616. We all knew what that was, but I know there are a lot of people watching it who don't know. And Betty says, hey guys, looking good, all of you. That's our second looking good, guys. Way to go. All right. Does anyone else have anything that they want to say on this subject?
I want more.
Well, we're going to get more on Friday. Unfortunately, we're only going to get them one episode at a time now. So it's going to take several weeks for this to unfold.
I'm actually fine with that because I like the idea of I got something to look forward to on Friday as opposed to binge watching everything in one weekend. So,
and after having to put the Marvel Cinematic Universe on hold for a year, it's nice to feel you finally moving forward.
Let's drag it out to the movies.
Yeah, we got a little something coming. So
just be aware, if you don't like the episode, study the episode because
Yes.
clues are everywhere.
Everywhere.
I have a feeling that
And if you don't like it, just wait about 8 weeks and that's all out, and then you can binge watch.
You can binge watch
Yeah.
it. Exactly.
that's what I did with Star Trek Discovery, because everyone said they hated it so damn much.
And,
I just waited till the end of it. I watched it all at one time.
And since Jeree was wanting clarification, the Marvel Cinematic Universe is Universe 199999. It's the official, universe for that. So they have excuses to do this stuff all the time. So
yeah.
Welcome to the multiverse, folks.
Welcome to comic books.
Yep.
Hey, Walt Boomer.
Thank you. Boomer.
Oh, I thought he was calling you a boomer.
That would be ironic.
Sooner.
Oh, we got one more thing. Jury's got it. Thanks for the update on that deal.
There's even a number for the DC Comics universe, but I can't remember what that one is, and I'm not even going to go there.
You mean Marvel has a number for the DC Comics universe?
Yes. There's a number for when they cross over for the crossover. So
that's deep knowledge, folks.
Yeah,
we're
deep
moving on.
knowledge.
It wasn't too terribly long ago that we were talking about, it was probably about a month ago that we were talking about Cyberpunk 2077 before the imminent release on that thing. And man, did that thing crash and burn.
You guys are all excited.
I was very excited for that
How
game.
many of y'all played it?
And I still am. But
how many of y'all played it?
I mean, look, I haven't yet. If I had I had the next generation Xbox, I'd have it. But since I have an Xbox S, I guess, I'm waiting for them to do some more updates before I get this thing. Although it just went on half price, which is unbelievable. It's been out for a month. It's half price. Let me recount something that came out yesterday from the one of the co-founders. He said he's released a new video explaining what went wrong with the game. CD Projekt's Marcin, I'm not going to try to pronounce his last name. He's Polish, folks. Admitted that they, quote, underestimated the task, unquote, of adapting the game for consoles like the PS4 and the Xbox One. Gamers reported glitches, including choppy frame rates and screen tearing. I don't know what screen tearing is, but it sounds terrible.
Explain that one.
That's a new one on me. Marcin says he's, quote, deeply sorry for this, and this video is me publicly owning up, unquote. The game was arguably the most anticipated release of 2020, but the launch just before Christmas was a disaster. That's an underscore. That's an understatement. The problems led to Sony and Microsoft removing the game from online stores, and gamers were offered refunds. None of us have played it, correct?
No, haven't played it.
I had zero desire to begin with. It's just not my game. So,
let's get some impressions of the news that we've heard and whether we're ever going to get this thing. And for that, I'm going to start with Sean.
Are we ever going to get it? Sure. I mean, it's out there. They're going to fix it. They're going to patch it.
So you're not marking it off.
No, there's no. Look, it's a video game. First and foremost, it's a video game. It's not farmland that needs to be plowed. It's not a heart machine that needs to be manufactured. It's a video game.
Or Windows 95.
Well,
that was a true disaster, which did affect a lot of people.
So,
yeah.
as far as getting all bent out of shape over problems with it and whatnot, it'll eventually work right. I mean, that's their goal. That's their statement. They're going to work on it. They're going to keep patching it, and it's at some point it's going to be exactly what it is meant to be, what it should be. Now, I've got a buddy who has a the Series X. He's played it, loves it, hasn't had any problems, hasn't had any issues. It clearly was meant for the next gen consoles, but they're them trying to simplify it for the Xbox One and the PS4. It really kind of jacked them up. Personally, I think if they would have just said, okay, you want to play this game, you have to have these other consoles. Sorry, that's
just make it for the next generation and let it be.
And with that in mind, I'm waiting until I get the next updated system before I play it, and probably by that time it'll have not only all the bugs worked out, but even more stuff for me to do. So, I'm cool. I don't have an issue with it. It sucks for everybody that took off, vacation time to play a video game.
Oh man!
You're a moron. You're a moron if you took time off for work to play a video game. I'm sorry. I have no sympathy for you whatsoever.
Scott, what do you think?
I mean, I wasn't anticipating anything about it. I didn't care about it. You guys were all like just going nuts. So like you guys can tell me more than I haven't heard anybody that's played it, but that doesn't mean anything because I just don't I haven't hung out with anybody who's like
into that community.
No, I'm just not jacked into that. So like the fact that it's already half price is not a good sign at all.
Not a good sign.
But we live in an age where like 3 years from now, it could be called, Cyberpunk 2077, the redo or whatever. Yeah. And, it's all new graphics and this and that. And everybody's going to be like, oh, we love it. They fixed everything. So, that's probably what's going to happen anyways.
Right.
But I have nothing to say on this. I was hoping you guys would have told me like what's going on wrong and this and that. But since I guess nobody here has played it, is that correct? Or has Walt played it?
I haven't played it. I have a friend who has it, and he's admitted that there are issues, but he's one of the types who's willing to wait for the patches and fixes. So, and I looked up screen tearing, and it's basically the video gets split, elongated across the screen. So that's screen terrible. Yeah, it reminds me of being in the printing industry. It reminds me of like a Photoshop file that gets corrupted. So
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's basically what it is. But we're talking in video types of things. But far as
Ken says, the game might be fixed by 2077.
As far as everything that's going down, I'm in the middle on this. People were wanting this game so badly and so soon, and were so tired of the pushbacks and everything that they were forced to release this game early.
They ain't forced to do nothing. I disagree with you on that.
Like I said, I'm on the fence on this. I mean, they didn't have to, but they did.
Okay, maybe like the corporate people said, you had to put this thing out.
Exactly.
Money.
Yeah,
okay,
we want to make
that
money.
Part I buy.
I guarantee you, stockholders wanted it out by Christmas.
Yes,
stockholders are the bane of all business existence.
Yes.
Stockholders want to know how much money are you making for me this quarter.
Moment. Yeah.
Everything is this
that's
quarter.
Fair.
Yeah. If
something's not making money for you this quarter, then it's no good.
Right. They're wasting money. They're wasting their money.
Year-long plan. They don't have a 5-year plan. They don't have a 20-year plan. They have a 3-month plan.
Yeah.
Which has caused so much pain. In not just the video game industry, but in the movie industry.
DC Comics.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
WWE wrestling.
Everything that is rushed or done poorly is a direct response of
wanting money now.
Stockholders who want the damn money now.
Yeah. So, and that's that's what I think happened. And, the rush to get it out. And then it was like, well, make it for the existing consoles that are out here right now. That's the reason why I feel so sorry for those guys, and then there's people who are putting lawsuits on them and everything. And I'm just like, but, don't kill them because their investors wanted them to get this thing out so fast. I mean, I like I said, I just feel really bad that there was this big, huge wait for it, and then there's this huge flop because the game sounds phenomenal. I mean, those people who are playing it on the PS5 and the latest generation Xbox are saying they're having a wonderful time, but there's still so many people out here with PS4s and the Xbox S and ones and all that stuff. So yeah, they should have waited. They should have waited. They should have just said, flip the bird to the investors and say, no, trust us. When this is done and it comes out for the new systems, it's going to be big. But
I would dare say that anytime you market your game as broad as they did, I mean, you had chairs, you had gaming consoles, you had comic books, you had
Shoes,
everything under the sun related to
computers,
Cyberpunk.
Music videos.
Anytime you spread the butter that thin,
you better have your shit together.
Yeah,
you're just asking for trouble. So,
all right. Well, we talked about this before the game came out, and I think universally we said we don't want to wait any longer. We want this thing out, but we had a big. Everyone's got a big butt.
Big butt.
Our big butt was, if this thing is not ready, you're going to do so much damage to this game that I know I'm going to love, that you absolutely must not release it.
mm-hmm.
Yep.
They didn't follow that simple decree, which is, if it's not ready, don't release it. Someone else mentioned just release it on the older or the new platforms. That also would have been a solution, because while it is buggy on desktop or computer gaming, and it is a little buggy on the next generation gaming consoles, it's not that bad. Let's be honest. The problem is these younger or these old generation gaming consoles that just wasn't ready for those. So, or maybe say we're going to release the older version, the older console version, 6 months from now. But right now, the only people are going to be able to play this are the new generation people. And I think they would have had a successful launch, but that's not what they did. They went for the money, and they got money. It sold really well on all of that anticipation. People were highly the anticipation for this game was off the charts, and I still want to play it. And I'll tell you something else. I have not played it, and you guys haven't played it, but I've heard from a lot of people that say that they are enjoying it. There are a few bugs on this thing, but it's getting better, and the story and the gameplay is exciting. It's fantastic, and it's unique. They really enjoy it. So, why scuttle the thing right at the beginning by, releasing it before it's ready? It's ridiculous. It didn't have to happen that way. It's a shame that it did. They've tarnished this thing. I will say this, what was the game? What was it about the something Sky, No Man's Sky, or something like that? Sky. Was that the name? Mm-hmm. That was released without as much fanfare, but people were very upset about that, and they kept working on it. And now everyone says that it's an amazing game. I remember the same issues that apparently someone had with The Division, and I didn't have that with The Division. I don't know what their issue was, but people became happier with that game over time. They can definitely fix that. But because the anticipation was so high on Cyberpunk, and the fact that they did not deliver, and they knew they weren't going to deliver, shame on them. Shame on them for ruining their own damn game.
Yep.
I'm anxious to play it, and I will at some point. But we'll see. Steve says it's a failed money grab. I mean,
Yep.
they got the money. Like I said, they broke record. They had to give some money. They had to give that back to some people. Yeah. Jury says another example, Wall Street calling shots way too often. And hey, to Maxine, how you doing?
Hey, Mom.
Thank you for joining us. Thanks to everyone for joining us. We super appreciate it.
Super appreciate it.
Super appreciate it. Please leave us some likes. Leave us some likes. Leave us some comments. We want to hear from you. Does anyone else have anything to say on this subject? Or are we moving on?
No.
All right. Here we go. On to the next doodad. We're back in rumor territory here with this one, folks. But it's rumors that I'm hearing from a lot of different sources. Once again. And it goes like this. While the Marvel Cinematic Universe prepares for its imminent return with WandaVision, I guess this was written right before that, a bomb of a news story dropped earlier that reported that Chris Evans is in talks to potentially return as Captain America in the MCU. This news has already made its way through online media outlets, and theories are being published on how Cap could find his way back into the MCU's Phase 4 future. A new social media blast has arrived with a reaction to this news, and it's quite interesting considering the source from which it came. After the news report from Deadline, not a chumpy source there. Deadline is not Variety, but it's just one step below that. They revealed that Chris Evans was in talks to return to the MCU as Captain America. Evans himself responded via his Twitter account with the simple message, quote, "News
I
to
like
me."
money.
Unquote. Right. The message was accompanied by a shrugging emoji. Right. You know, they're going to throw some cash at him if he decides to do it. Unlike some of the other people that kind of bowed out at the end of that thing, Chris Evans is still a relatively young guy. He didn't have to do that. Let's go to Walt first on this. Just what's your thoughts on this subject? Do you think, what are they going to do with Captain America?
I don't know what they're going to do with Captain America, but Chris Evans is definitely throwing us a swerve.
You think that this is real?
I think it's real. And especially since we're talking about the next few phases are having to deal with the multiverse, he's definitely in talks.
Yeah, hello. There's so many. Oh.
He's definitely in talks. Chris Evans, if you're watching this, I'm looking at you right now.
You're calling him out.
It's okay. I'll hold your secret, but but yeah, I mean, how can you not move forward with a multiverse without a Captain America at least making an appearance one time?
I mean, everyone loves Captain America,
and and everybody, just like everybody sees Chadwick Boseman as Black Panther, everybody sees Chris Evans as Captain America. I mean, I'm sorry. I mean, right. His movies were my favorite movies of all the Marvel movies. Nobody sees Iron Man as other than Robert Downey Jr. So, I mean,
they're going to try and
get him back in there. Yeah. So they're going to bring him back for one or two things.
We know Riri Williams is going to be Iron Man at some point.
Yeah. So, I mean, like I said, I mean, even in the Marvel Universe 616, y'all, Captain America is the biggest inspiration to everybody who's a hero. Right. So, including Spider-Man. So, like I said, you can't have a Marvel Universe without Captain America.
Scott, what do you think?
I think somebody's chopping some
onions
or something in there.
That was me that was me with my knock of
Walt gets excited over there. No surprise that any of these actors, when you have this many movies that are like super successful, they're always going to be talks. 20 years from now, there's a chance there will be talks. Like Captain America can come back and do a cameo as the old Captain America, giving knowledge to the young Captain America. Don't forget, he had the pretty much the gauntlet and stuff and went around putting everything back in time. So we could do stories in different times. We can do stories from different timelines.
True.
And, we can always do a story from the past, which I think we'd all really enjoy if we got like
Captain America set back in the 40s.
Some World War II adventures, like seeing some real stuff.
The Invaders, because remember we had the cameo of the Human Torch,
right?
In the first movie, so
we could have that. There's that, and for a while, Captain America left in the comics with a story from who was it? Who did this story where he got shot and killed, and Bucky took over for a while.
That was Civil War. That was the end of Civil War.
Yeah, but who was the writer who did that?
Was it Wade?
No, it wasn't Wade.
No, it wasn't Wade.
It doesn't matter right now, but in the Marvel comics for a while, I could look it up really quick. Walt's going to look it up while I talk.
I think Sean
during that time, Bucky became the new Captain America briefly,
right?
And then we always knew that Steve Rogers was going to be back as Captain America, and eventually he made his way back. And when he came back, he didn't just take over the mantle. He was like an agent for S.H.I.E.L.D. and I think maybe even ran S.H.I.E.L.D. I wasn't reading Marvel Comics at the time, but he came back. I mean, he even came back recently and he was the old man Captain America. He was an old man who then somehow got another dose of serum or whatever and became young again. My point is like there's endless stories with these characters. They could be negotiating a lot of money just to get him into something for 5 minutes. Or like the multiverse thing that we theorize. I mean, we could see anything, man.
Yeah.
And sky's the limit. Their comic book stories. They not only do they have 50 plus years of like material that they can take from, even like the Vision stuff. That was a character created before a lot of the characters and love today. That was an old character that was misty and stuff named Vision, who wasn't necessarily like a cyborg, but a superhero back when Marvel was like Timely Comics. So there's all sorts of source materials, and I think that you're always going to hear about these guys set to return. Don't be surprised when you hear that Robert Downey Jr. is talks to do Iron Man. Well, the multiverse can bring Iron Man back. They did that. They did that in the 90s. There was a teenage Tony Stark running around. Yeah. So like they've done it, and sky's the limit. And so far, the Marvel MCU has done nothing really too stupid. Really, even like a neckbeard can complain about. So let's just trust that they're not going to do Teen Tony because that was terrible. But after that, let's just see where they go. It's kind of fun to hear it though, because I too would love about 10 more Captain America movies, whether they were just one-offs, fighting Batroc the Leaper or some other just crazy dumb villains. So
wow, shout out to Batroc.
Oh,
Mark Miller.
By the way.
Who was it?
Mark Miller wrote it.
Mark Miller.
The Death of Captain America.
Mark Miller wrote Civil War.
Not Civil War. I'll find it.
By the way, Batroc is returning in the Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Is he coming back in? Okay.
Yeah.
I had read that he was coming back.
Yeah. I saw set photos of what's his name? Oh crap! I can't remember the fighter's name.
Ed Brubaker.
George St. Pierre.
Yeah, George Brubaker.
Ed Brubaker was the writer who led up and had the character get killed in the Captain America comics. It was like issue number 25, I believe. So something like that. Anyways,
says Chris needs some income. He wouldn't have qualified for stimulus checks.
No, he wouldn't have.
I don't think he really needs the income, but he just wants that income.
I mean, how can you turn down that much money when you think about your next generation and that generation after that? They're making so much damn money. It's
Chris
crazy.
Evans is one of those guys that said, I want to direct.
Well, he could probably do both.
It's like, do both.
Don't be
Who
surprised
cares?
if he gets both.
Right.
Ken says, just like with Firefly, they never say no because they do not want to offend their fans. And Ronnie says hi.
What's up, Ronnie?
Ronnie's in the house. Get out immediately.
in the house.
All right, we're going to Sean. What do you think, man?
I don't even remember what we were talking about.
Chris Evans.
Chris Evans there.
Dude, what the?
Oh,
He has
Are you-
Alzheimer's.
Are you
dude.
having a reboot? What's going on here?
pretty much. Look, the whole thing with the Twitter deal, it's a swerve.
Yeah.
It's completely. Well, we got to talking about Civil War, and I was looking up the name.
We were down the rabbit hole.
His reaction. Tatiana Maslany, am I saying that right?
I don't know.
She did the same thing with She-Hulk. Oh, well, I'm not talking to anybody about being cast in She-Hulk, and then like 2 weeks later, oh, guess what? She's cast in She-Hulk. So it's all a
They
bunch
tell
of crap.
them not to confirm anything. I mean,
Right. You know, they're under contract for that. So this, you know, Chris, as Walt stated, it, you know,
Right.
I'm not buying it. If it comes out, it was all, you know, just speculation and fan fiction and whatnot. We want Chris Evans back. You know, great. You know, I'm glad to see that he has such a strong network of fans that really would push for that. I personally, I would love to see Chris Evans don the shield again. You know, but if it turns out that this was all crap and nothing comes about it, okay, whatever.
Yeah, move on.
It's not going to break my heart. I like the guy. I'd like to see more, but you know, hey.
My thought is that everyone loves Chris Evans as Captain America. I felt like he bowed out way too early on that thing.
Which is really shocking, I have to say, because he was perfect as the Human Torch. He was like one of the only good things about the Fantastic Four movies. I did not expect him to be a decent Captain America.
Yeah, he was a great Human Torch. I thought he was a better Captain America. So
I agree. I completely agree.
Because after Fantastic Four, it seemed like he was being typecast.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so
As the hothead.
jokester.
Well, he played the same character in The Losers. He played the same character in. Gosh, I'm going blank all the time.
Scott Pilgrim.
Scott Pilgrim.
Yep.
So yeah,
I think that this is a no-brainer. I mean, like I said, I'm surprised that he's not still in it. I'm surprised that they kind of wrote him out. It's possible that Chris Evans could play old Captain America because he's around, being a mentor to whoever's going to hold the shield, whether that's, Falcon or it's someone else, whatever. I mean, he could still be around being the mentor and running them through, throwing wrenches at them or whatever the case is, the Mickey to the new Rocky. He could do that. With the multiverse, literally they could pluck him out of any universe and he'd be young and vital like he always was. Or you could definitely have a thing where maybe we get a story from the 40s or the 50s and they do like some sort of Indiana Jones type thing with him or whatever. It's a period piece and it's still Captain America and he's going to come out of retirement, to wrong some right some wrong.
Going back to the 40s, I mentioned the Invaders. That's a perfect way to introduce Namor.
Oh, dude, Sean and I talk about the absence of Namor often.
Yeah, I mean, that's a perfect way to introduce Namor, dude.
He has to eventually come in, right?
He's come. It's coming.
He's coming. They have already thrown that nugget several times. He's going to be there.
We really need Doctor Doom, and we really need Namor to make this universe complete.
I really wish DC didn't. Isn't The Rock still supposed to do Black Adam, which I think he'll do wonderful.
Yeah.
But man, wouldn't Namor
He's all in on this?
Take old Villain Rock from the early wrestling days?
I never thought about that. Oh my gosh,
it's gold! It's gold, man.
I never thought about that
because Namor is like. Oh, Namor's like an amazing character for a good guy or a bad guy.
Yeah.
There's just something special about him.
You could do a series of
both.
movies of Namor where one
was
moment
Dr.
he's a
Doom.
bad guy, and then the next movie he's the good guy, and then the third movie he's straddling the line. Yeah, he'd be perfect. I mean, that's a great character.
Where he's still, I don't want to say in his youth because he's not an old man per se, but I personally would have cast Donnie Yen as Namor.
That would be a good cast too.
He's Donnie Yen. I mean, how do you go wrong with that guy? But I think he's got a look that would apply itself to Namor beautifully. Dirk and I had talked about Zachary Quinto would make a decent.
Yeah,
he's gonna have to work out though.
He's gonna have to put on a lot of meat.
He is.
Yeah,
but my initial Donnie Yen was my go-to. But at this point, he's kind of up there in age. But I'm going to stick with that kind of flair. I think he'd be amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Let's look at some comments here from some people. Jerry says Chris Evans was a good Human Torch.
He was a great Human Torch.
Mike also agrees, and the losers, he likes that. Jerry likes my wrench comment.
If you can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
Mike says Evans could play Nomad for that storyline.
Nomad. I keep calling him Guardian for some reason. Nomad is the character I'm thinking.
Nomad would be good too.
Oh gosh, that'd be
Storyline
good.
from the supervillain team up series. Mike knows all that old school comic stuff backwards and forwards.
Oh, I'd love to see Doctor Doom and Namor teamed up together. That'd be
speaking
wonderful.
of team ups, that would be a good Marvel series for Disney Plus. Marvel team up.
Mm-hmm. Yup.
Yeah. Who was it? Always Spider-Man who was in Marvel team up, or was it literally just two people?
No, it was usually Spider-Man and somebody else. Like
that's what I thought.
99% of the time, and then Marvel 2-in-1 was the Thing and somebody else.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh man, I miss all those.
Hey, at least we're getting What If since we've gone off this tangent.
That's true.
Tangent. Yeah, at least we're getting What If.
So that could be one of the best things. Seriously, that could be one of the best.
After seeing the animation and how that's
it looks good.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It looks
awesome.
Yeah.
We are moving along. I guess we all agree that Chris Evans, this is probably not a rumor and it's probably going to happen even if it's a 5 minutes appearance someplace.
Sure.
Like I said, if I just see him one time in one movie in one of these multiverse movies, I'm going to be satisfied.
It's not like he retired from acting, and it's not like everyone wouldn't like to see it.
Sure he did.
Come on. Whenever Loki transformed into Captain America in what was it? Was it the second Thor movie?
It was the second Thor movie.
See, everybody just
everybody, as they say, everybody lost their ish.
Right.
Everybody lost their ish.
And rock on. I mean, if it's going to be something, as simple as that, bring it.
Mike agrees with Scott.
Of course he does. I'm brilliant. What do you agree about? Supervillain team up series.
I think the supervillain. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
I got a collection of that. I still have not read it. I need to.
Do you really?
Yeah, I found a collection of it up in Chicago last year. So good stuff.
The thing is, Walt said 5 minutes this round and come back next. So you want him to come back in phase 5 or whatever? We'll take what we can get, I guess.
I'll take what I can get.
All right, we're moving on to the next subject. This is a question directly from Quora, and here it is. What movie franchise do you think should be put to rest and never have another sequel made again?
Oh, God.
I have so many.
You get to destroy an entire franchise tonight.
Oh, gosh. You should have let us know about this. Was this in the notes?
Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't scroll down far enough, I guess.
And I mentioned it at the top of the show too. I told everyone to come up with a franchise.
I was thinking of.
I will come to you in a minute.
I was thinking of. I've been.
I
thinking
have one.
You know what?
I'm going to you, Walt, because you're talking.
I'm really not that impressed with the Mission Impossible series.
Ooh. Whoa.
I said it.
Scientology may be at your door in minutes.
No, it has nothing to do with Scientology.
Scientology knocking. No, I'm just saying they're going to look after your boy.
Oh yeah. I'm sorry. I'm not that impressed with that series. I'm ready for that one to end.
Wow. That is bold, sir.
I'm ready for that one to end.
That is quite a shot across the bow to begin with.
Yeah.
Since they are literally making another one of those as we speak.
I know. But I will say this. The last one that they did, I thought was the best out of the series, but I still wasn't that impressed.
Wow.
Man, I hate so much stuff.
So many options.
I'm trying to think of like people I could really make mad by just crushing their soul.
Why would you do that?
Why would you not?
Hey, Scott.
Welcome to Scott Prime Time.
Hey, Scott, that means you need to step up your game because I just did.
If you guys are watching, chime in, please, and tell us what your what franchise needs to be wrapped up. I'm going to Sean next.
Oh, Jesus criminy. I have several. Currently in the works, there's the Fast and the Furious number
Stuff
9.
that's coming. Stuff that's coming to a theater or not coming to a theater near you.
Fast and Furious series needs to end badly.
Do you think that it should have gone out with Paul Walker?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
You're probably not wrong. You're probably not alone on that.
It was a beautiful way to wrap it up, call it good. It went out on a very somber note. Everything surrounding that, it was a perfect end.
Had the family.
Plus that movie wasn't as over the top as they got after that.
Right. Then it became part of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Exactly.
Let's see what else. The Matrix is got a new one coming out. Why?
You're going to stick a fork in that?
So we get to kill a property off, or it never existed?
No, you can't
kill it off.
Erase the past. I'm just saying,
kill it off.
You
Let's
can't
not do
have
it
any more.
Yeah.
Scream is coming up with another one.
Oh, I forgot about that one. Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting.
I have absolutely no idea why
that's completely superfluous.
And the one I was actually talking to my mother about today, Lethal Weapon is coming out with another one.
No.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, I saw that too.
How many times can he say I'm getting too old for this shit?
Apparently quite a few.
Now I'm really too old for this. I'm really too old.
I suspect that Glover will be retired by this point, and now we're working.
I mean, I would hope so, since he
retirement.
was going to retire back in the 80s.
They're pulling them out of the old folks' home.
They're gonna bring back Chris Rock. It'll be Chris Rock and somebody else now.
I'm really too old for this, Riggs.
I'm out.
I mean, they already tried this with a TV show. Was it a TV show they tried this with? And
there are people who loved the Lethal Weapon television, including my mom, I might add. I'm just saying, there are people who did like that incarnation.
The one, I guess, the one actor who was playing what's his face?
Before that dude went crackers.
Yeah, and he got booted out of Hollywood. So
yeah, I haven't heard anything from that guy.
Yeah, he apparently what he did was really bad. So anyway,
yeah, Sean, do you have anything more on that subject?
No, I mean, I could probably think up some more, but those are really.
You're welcome to. I mean, those were pretty good.
As much as I enjoy the Fast and Furious movies, it's time for those to end.
Dude, as soon as the car leapt from one building to another building,
pretty crazy.
They should have said right there, "We're done. We're done."
Pretty crazy.
I like that scene.
We've entered into cartoon world. It is no longer. We are defying physics. They drug a safe down the road with
Yeah.
2 cars.
Yeah.
Physically impossible. You're done. You're done.
All right, I'm going to Scott.
There's so many things I hate. Like I'd like to.
Dude, it's not which thing you hate.
Oh, I just never want to talk about it anymore. I mean, part of me is like, let's just kill the Predator Aliens franchise because everybody is just like, oh, and it's always about alien, and they suck since the second one. And then I'd like to kill off like Firefly because everybody's like, oh, and then the Terminator, like kill that all off too, and then like judge shows like Judge Roy Davis and Martha Smith. I hate those things too because
those are the most popular thing on daytime television.
And like Jerry Springer, that guy should just go away.
That guy did retire, didn't he?
But like,
no, he's doing People's Court now.
There's so many things I just absolutely hate, and like I'd make a lot of people mad by saying like Harry Potter. And then Friends, I'd like that to go away forever. But if I have to pick any of them, the one that keeps coming back and I get mad
this is quite a list.
Oh, there's so many. And I like all of them really need to go right into the sun for all I care. Man, I am so sick of like Jurassic Park. I mean, like, just sick of it. Like, they returned Jurassic Park, and it's kind of like the old one, where kids are dumb as rocks who get lost on an island full of dinosaurs.
And there's an animated series on Netflix now, too.
Oh, my gosh. Just kill it all. There's so many shows I just hate, and I hear people at work, and everybody's like, oh, I live for just watching TV. And it's just like, get your own mind. Damn it, get your own mind. Go live life. Don't sit in front of your TV.
Oh, and there's a Fast and Furious animated show on Netflix too.
Mm-hmm. Anyways,
there is.
Yes,
there's so many. I'll save all the nerds who watch this show some things by not saying Doctor Who or Firefly or things like that just to be mean. I'll just go with Jurassic Park.
All right.
Jurassic
Park is the winner.
I could kill so much.
He's given you too much power with this question.
Oh my gosh. I don't know if I could ever come up with an absolute answer. There'd be just so many. And then somebody would go, whisper in my ear, they go, Highlander. And I'd be like, God, I hated that show so
You're going to wake up. You're going to wake up at 2 a.m. and come up with like 12 more.
I'm gonna think about this for the rest of the night. Yes.
You just got on Steve's list of people he doesn't like when you mentioned Highlander. So
wow, see how that works. All right, mine has already been mentioned. It's Terminator. Terminator is done, folks.
Oh God!
There's nothing else that you can do with Terminator.
It sucks so
that
bad.
hasn't been done and then done again and then retconned and then done over. I mean, look, Terminator. The first Terminator was a brilliant, tight thriller with science fiction and some little twisty things that happen in it, and has been copied over and over again for the last 30, 40 years. The second movie did something that very few sequels do, which is revisit that world and do it better. They actually did Terminator better the second time around, but they did it better the second time around by not redoing it entirely. It had like an entirely different setup and resolution. But it was also very much complete by the end of that movie. The Terminator movies should have been 2. And if you want some evidence of that, look at the other Terminator movies that came after that. It has never recovered from those first 2 movies. It's done. You can't, with this last movie, they threw everything they could at it to try to get it to be a thing, and it's just not going to be a thing. I have one other property which I think they should leave alone, and that's The Crow. Just leave it alone, man.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
That first movie was amazing. I still watch it all the time. It's just, there's just something. Knowing what happened in the course of that movie lends a lot of the, to to how powerful it is, but I don't think that's a movie or a franchise that needs to be revisited again. I think it's done.
Could I kill the Simpsons while we're at it?
You can.
You can try.
You certainly can.
You
Let's
can
see
try.
what everyone. I've been off of this. Let's see what everyone has to say. Wow, we got a lot of good ones here. Ken says the A-Team is done. Let's do it.
It's been done since the 80s.
Yeah.
Steve said,
God dang
Karate Kid.
You watch Cobra Kai? I have no life. I love Cobra Kai. Get out of here. Read a book. Read a book.
Oh my
Jerry
goodness.
has not seen the last 3 Mission Impossibles. I agree with Walt. That last one was the best one, I think. I think it was more like the old Mission Impossible things than any. They're finally starting to use a team, which was the whole point of the original series. Mike says Transformers. That's another good one.
Yeah. I think the problem with that series was that Michael Bay, he should have stopped after the third. He should have moved on after the third one, and they should have gotten somebody else. Money.
There's so much. Every time he makes that, he gets a new mansion in Bel Air.
Yeah, and what I mean by that, like his first 3 were fine. I was okay with the first 3, but when he did the 4th one, I was like, okay, you're just milking this now. Get somebody else to write the story.
But people I think maybe the one before Bumblebee really crashed and burned, and so they had to rethink things. But as it turns out, people liked Bumblebee, so
Bumblebee was enjoyable, and I think as far as a reboot of the series or the franchise, it works as a perfect reboot. So
Ken likes Shaw and Hobbs. I think maybe that's what they should have done with that universe, is move on to something else instead of
there's another one.
Capers.
There's another one coming out, Shaw and Hobbs, by the way. So
just in case you haven't gotten enough of The Rock yet.
Yeah, it just if they're going to do a series of those movies, stop at 3.
Jerry thinks she's going to get derision, but probably not from this group. She says Twilight is done.
Thank you, Jesus.
Yeah,
it's good. It's a blood milkshake. It's good.
We're cisgendered males. We don't have a problem with putting Twilight to bed forever. No problem here. You want to see
needs to be
rebooted with Rock and Kevin Hart?
Lethal Weapon.
That's basically what the last movies are anyway, with Rock and Kevin Hart.
See, Jerry liked the Lethal Weapon series too. I don't know who it was that jumped the shark.
Whenever they drove the car
from building to building.
As his next
they jumped the buildings. Get it?
I'm glad that they ended Sharknado at 5.
Did they?
Yeah, they did. They did. Although, what's his face? Ian Ziering has made cameos as that character from Sharknado and other Sci-Fi Channel movies, which I find quite amusing, because none of those other movies are anywhere near as hilariously stupid as Sharknado.
I hate those movies.
Ken says the Hollywood's lost the ability. That, you know what?
They haven't had the ability for 30 years.
This is another issue with stockholders and stuff. They want that. Yeah. They want that initial opening weekend where everyone knows whatever the franchise is, and so they can't let it go. They can't.
They want what's safe.
Create a new franchise.
That's like a few weeks ago when I said, "Man, I wish they had waited to release Tenet until this pandemic went down," because that movie was. I know how a lot of people think about Christopher Nolan and everything, but that movie was great. If they do a sequel,
I loved it too.
God, I hope they don't do a sequel.
I hope they don't do a sequel, but if they do a sequel, let's just make it a 2 and out. Because I mean, there's so many ways. There's only one direction they could go with a sequel, and I'm not gonna divulge that information because that would be spoiling it. But
Steve says he has a Duncan MacLeod katana with your name on it, Scott.
And he does have that katana, by the way.
Okay. I remember being in it was like
Duncan MacLeod of the Clan MacLeod.
Yeah.
1992 or something. Everybody's like, you have to see this movie, or maybe it's 93. And then I watched the movie and I'm like,
I think it was in the 80s, folks, wasn't it? 85, 86?
It was 80s. The first movie is great. The sequels.
No, it's all bad. It's all bad.
No, you're bad, Scott. You're bad.
Thankfully, I don't listen to your opinions about movies. So,
Well, don't.
Let's see. Brian James, who figured out how to stop watching us on YouTube and got over here on Facebook, said, we need more Shakes the Clown installments. Think about it. Shakes the Clown 2, still shaking.
Still shaking.
Still shaking. Mike says The Crow is one of those perfect films. Yeah, it didn't need a sequel.
Didn't need a sequel.
What? It had Edward Furlong showing up in The Crow 5.
I think that was number 3 or 4.
That didn't need to happen.
I still hear people clamoring for a District 9 sequel, and I'm like, no, we don't need a District 9 sequel. District 9 was perfect as it was. So no.
Now with The Crow, I admit I would like to see a true adaptation of the graphic novel. I would like to see what they could create from the actual book.
They're working apparently on that right now.
Huh.
But I have a feeling it's not going to be cool. And it's going to tarnish because they have some issues with stuff now. They have issues with telling stories. Everything has to be a roller coaster ride.
Yeah, and it has to be a trilogy.
Right.
And they have to change the story for certain demographics.
And be really good for the audiences in China. Is that what you're alluding to, Walt?
Yes.
That's just one of them. That's just one of the things. Just like the talk of doing Akira, the movie Akira. Well, instead of it being in Tokyo, we're going to base it in Manhattan. No.
Negative.
No.
Bad.
No.
Idea.
No.
I love this. I love this from Steve. The Breaking series.
The Breaking series.
I mean, what more can you do after Electric
Boogaloo? With the cameo of Jean-Claude Van Damme in the background.
Clearly nothing, because we haven't seen anything since 84.
Yeah, something like that.
I still contend that every number 2 should be called Electric Boogaloo. So Star Trek 2,
Electric Boogaloo.
The Terminator 2,
Electric Boogaloo.
Electric Boogaloo.
I'm fine with that.
I think you're all are idiots.
Ken's ready to put Starship Troopers to bed.
Hey, if you ever get it, speaking of Starship Troopers, if you can find it, it's very hard. It's very hard to find. There was an anime series of Starship Troopers back in the 80s. So I recommend it because it more closely follows the book.
All right.
You mean it's not all fascist and whatnot?
No fascism?
Yeah.
Good stuff. All right, we're moving on. All right, we're on blast. We're talking about things that we saw or we read or we played over the past week or whatever, stuff we want other people to know about. First off, I'm going to Sean on
that. Let's see. Well, if you are a Netflix subscriber, you may not have seen a particular show called Sound and Fury. It is a CGI anime music video. Basically, it's an album that was turned into an
a long form music video.
Right. It was The music is by Sturgill Simpson. I don't remember who did the anime. I know it's the one that did the Batman Samurai anime, which was also very cool.
Very cool. I like that a lot.
The reason why I bring that up is I recently got the Sound and Fury graphic novel, which is the prequel to the anime, and
interesting.
very interesting. It's an anthology illustrated by several different illustrators, telling stories about some of the characters as they're making their way to the anime prior to the anime.
I like the look of the characters.
So,
how's the art?
Depending on what story, some of the
multiple.
Some of the artwork is, good. Some of the artwork is pretty groovy. Some of it's kind of meh. It just depends on your taste.
Well, right.
So, but overall, it was a good cool little addition to the show on Netflix. Also, I wanted to bring up, picked up Lupin.
Woo! Hey-o!
Hey, Lupin the Third.
If you're a fan of the old anime, Lupin the Third, this was a great story, great animation. It's all done CGI. They captured the look and the feel of the characters beautifully, and I believe the voice actors are the same that were from the anime. Give it a try. I think you'll be very impressed with both of those.
Maybe pleasantly surprised. All right, Walt, we're going to you, buddy.
Over the weekend, as I've said in the past, every weekend when I do my grocery shopping at Wally World, I always buy a movie. So the movie I picked up this weekend was Iron Mask with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jackie Chan.
Oh, yes.
And if you want, share the screen on what it looks like there. I will say it's a little entertaining movie. And the only bad thing about this movie, and I say the really bad thing, was the 5 minutes, and I do mean 5+ minutes of the introduction of all the production studios that were involved with this movie. And we're talking like global, because there are several languages spoken in this movie. We're talking Russian, German, Chinese, Japanese. I mean,
I believe the main production house was Russian.
Yeah, well, one of the main production houses.
Damn.
So it's a very international film. Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jackie Chan are basically making cameos, but it's the longest cameos I've ever seen because they're in about 45 minutes worth of this movie, and then it's everybody else. So it's very entertaining. It's comical. It's whimsical. It's out there. I recommend it. Like me, like I said, I like to buy DVDs. If you see this for rent it, watch it. Tell me, you'll enjoy it. I think it's perfect to watch with kids. It's a period piece, and like I said, it's a really, really fun movie, which involves the king of Russia being kidnapped and held captive, and he is actually the man in the mask. So,
all right, pretty cool, man. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Scott time.
This is stuff we've consumed.
Yeah,
is that right? All right. Well, I've finally. Rarely am I ever caught up on like reading all my comics because I'm constantly refilling the treasure trove of comics. If you're not a big time comic reader, you don't realize like we have tier 1 comics that we need to read pile, and then we have tier 2 and tier 3. I have nothing in tier 1 currently, so like I'm looking forward to the new day at the comic store to get some new stuff to read as I've caught up on everything. Recently, I've watched around Christmas time. I purchased a DVD pack, not a Blu-ray pack, a DVD pack of some old Dragon Ball movies from like that were released over in Japan. They're only like 45 minutes long. Some of them are 50 minutes long. So I've watched Dead Zone, and I think it's called just Dr. Wheelo. 2 Dragon Ball movies. I recently watched those on my own. So you guys who think I don't sit around and watch any TV, I did watch some. Probably because the last 2 weekends I ventured out of my house and went and played Dragon Ball Super, the TCG, the collectible card game. And surprisingly, I've won both tournaments, and I suck at that game pretty bad. So anyways, it was pretty awesome to win some tournaments at a card tournament that I haven't yet until these last 2 weekends. So there you go. Consuming wise, I bought. Remember we talked last week about some black hole cards with the gum?
Wow.
The gum is in like pieces, and I still don't think you guys should chew the gum, but I'm going to make you chew the gum after you guarantee that I can come through your house and take anything I want if you die.
Wow.
So anyways, we got the cards in, so next time I see you guys, and next time I'm on, you told me to chew the gum, so you're going to chew the gum.
I'm still
from
in on
these
that.
cards. All right,
I'm good. But I want those damn black hole cards, man.
Yeah, they're going to be great. I wonder if the sticker will even stick to anything, but haven't really consumed other things that I know of. So that's all for me.
All right. I got wrapped up in watching these 2 different guys on YouTube that are restoring old toys. And one guy restored an X-Wing that was, a piece of trash. And he took this thing apart and figured out he put the plastic parts in things and cleaned the thing up and did all this stuff, and then like rewired the little noise making thing and all this. I've never seen anything quite like this.
I've seen that video.
You've seen it?
Yeah.
It starts out and you're like, there's no effing way that he can make this thing presentable. And by the end of it, it looked better than when it came out of the box in, the 70s. It was incredible looking. And one that was even better than that was some guy who did an old Back to the Future DeLorean that was made of die-cast metal. And it had like rust on it, like a real car. And it was really rusty. It was insanely rusty. And he did the same thing. He took this thing apart. He put this deal in a bath that started eating up all of this rust. And he scraped it off. It got it down to the bare metal on this thing. Then he repainted it. He put like fuzzy carpet in it and all kinds of, he had all of these wires and stuff that he ran on the outside of it. The original car did not look in. It was 10 times better than the original car. And if you saw this thing at the beginning of it, you would have said, there is no way that you could restore this. But not only did he restore it, but it was stunning by the end of it. And it's like this kind of like, have you heard of the Zen of motorcycle maintenance?
Yeah.
It's kind of like doing a repetitive or calming task to find, like a Zen-like state. Watching these videos was like very Zen, I thought, because it's slow and methodical, and it's, they're showing you this stuff. It's got this cool kind of techno music with it. Anyway, I really enjoy that sort of thing. And right now I am reading Neil Stephenson's Snow Crash, which came out a long time ago. I was interested in, they say that that's the kind of from the beginning of the Cyberpunk era. And I had never read it. I felt like I should read it so I know what the heck I'm talking about. It's interesting because it's from the 80s, and it basically says that people say that he predicted the internet. There are some elements of this that definitely predicted what was going to happen with the internet. It's much more tongue-in-cheek than I expected. I thought it was going to be kind of a serious kind of Blade Runner type thing. It's really not. The main character starts out being a pizza delivery guy that that like drives, faster than 100 miles an hour to get this thing to these places within 30 minutes or less, or the company that he works for will kill him because it's run by the mafia. So anyway, that's the sort of thing that you're talking about. But it also has a lot of very interesting things about the internet, or what he called I think he called it the metaverse or something. So it has a little bit of kind of Ready Player One elements to it as well. And it's been interesting. It's a cyberpunk novel, which I thought was pretty cool.
I'd like to add one thing. I haven't watched it in forever, but mentioning, and I know this has nothing to do with restoring toys or anything, but if any of you out there really want something that you can sit and stare and watch and be amazed with and laugh at the same time, 11foot8.com. Okay. 11foot8 is this bridge. It's a website about this bridge that is 11 foot 8 inches tall, and people in trucks keep trying to go underneath this bridge.
Okay, I've seen this.
All
Where
right.
And this guy set up cameras from all different angles viewing this bridge, and so there's all these buses and box trucks and semis.
Dude, there's so much safety tape on that thing. How can you not?
And it's amazing. The first time this thing has been on the internet for more than a decade. I would say more than a decade.
That's
and
a railroad bridge.
Yeah, and I come back to this website at least once a year, and I just have a really good time watching people trying to go underneath this bridge in these oversized vehicles. So if you want something to laugh at humanity, something fun at these trying times. If you want something fun,
how about
funny, try 11foot8.com.
Oh yeah. If you ever feel low on yourself, just watch these morons.
Yeah, it'll make you feel so much better about yourself. Trust me, it will.
Speaking of the toy restoration, apparently that struck a chord. Ken says that was the first video on Facebook that he watched 100%. Steve says rescue and restore. That was one of them. It was actually two different things. I think that it was rescue and restore that started doing like a lot of old kind of, die-cast metal stuff from the 50s and 60s, which I wasn't interested in, but I really wanted to see them kind of restore some of the stuff from the 80s and 90s. So I started looking around. I found two different places. The rescue and restore is one of them. Yes. Marianne Childress says you should watch, and welcome to the show, Marianne. You should watch people restore old retro consoles. That stuff is beautiful. Maybe I should, because not only was it entertaining, but it was also strangely relaxing to me. Ken said, I believe that's the company, Steve. Yeah, he's seen that. And Mike says there's a group on Facebook that restore all metal toys. They get in and sandblast the rust and paint, bring them back better than when they were new. That's the way the two toys that I saw were considerably better than when they, like, I would love to have had that X-Wing that they restored. The thing was yellow and weird.
That one was really good.
It looked really bad. And then by the end of it, it's like, stark white and completely restored, had new stickers on it. It looked awesome.
They redid the stickers and everything. I mean, it was just, it's amazing. It was really a really good one.
Pretty stunning. All right. Anything else on this subject, guys? Then we're going to promo time. Hey, it's promo time. First up, I'm going to mix things up. We're going to Sean first.
As always, stop by rankingstudios.com, give us a look, check out the artwork, check out all of the stuffs that we have for you to look at.
There's new stuff up there.
Enjoy. Lots of links to our other social media and other artwork placements and what have you. So please feel free to stop by.
Tell them what you always say that, but you don't say what it is. What is Ranking Studios?
RankingStudios.com. What do you mean?
Explain what that site is.
Our website?
Yes.
It's our website. What?
What's on
understand.
it?
Our
Let's say that
artwork.
someone just walked out of the desert and
Are they
wanted to
thirsty?
know.
Are
they might be.
Do they have sand on them?
They
I'd
might
probably
be
give them a
very
glass of
thirsty.
water.
Are they nude?
I mean, I've been through the desert on a horse with no name.
Scott is going into a complete fantasy scenario here. What would you tell that person about what Ranking Studios is? Explain what it is.
It is the home of the 4 members of Ranking Studios. Scott, Dirk, myself, Robert. We post our artwork on there. We post information about how to get a hold of us to possibly commission artwork. We do logos, caricatures, comic books, yada yada.
Art stuff.
Art stuff.
Art stuffs.
What the hell do you want from me, man?
I like putting you on the spot.
Well,
Yeah, they could also go over to the Facebook Ranking Studios.
Facebook. Also check out Facebook /Ranking Studios and drop us a line on either platform. Let us know what you think. Let us know what we can do to help make your day better.
Dandy. All right, Walt, you're up next, man.
Right now, I don't have anything to promote specifically. I think coming up here pretty soon, I'm going to try and once a week to broadcast from my Twitch channel. Spit that word out again. my Twitch channel.
What happened?
Where
we're on Twitch right now.
I'm going to do live broadcasting of me doing car liveries on Gran Turismo. So it'll probably be about an hour, maybe 2 hours, depending on how intricate I want to get with the design. So it's going to be some work. I'll give you the official date when I'm going to start doing that. But I am going to try and do it once a week. So
cool.
And I'd also like to plug, since we were talking about toys, specifically Star Wars toys, if you're ever down here in the Texas area, specifically Fort Worth, check out Holocron Toys. It's nothing but Star Wars.
Well, when I see you, I'm going to punch you in the face if you hit your table.
For banging on the table? Is that driving
I'm sorry.
You get so excited. Tap your foot instead, Walt. Tap your foot instead.
I can't do that.
Be happy that he doesn't hate everything.
And that my voice level doesn't go any higher above 20 decibels.
Amen, brother.
Wow.
Amen.
Hey, I have one volume and it's super loud.
All right, turn your volume down because Scott's got some things for you to go look at.
All right, I'll try to whisper. I'll be really quiet since that's what you guys want. You need.
We're all right here, buddy.
Here, you'll have Beta Male Scott here, okay? You can reach me over. You can get a hold of me if you need to at Real Scott Prime over on Twitter.
There it is.
You can catch me on Facebook if you search Scott Prime. I'm the real one there.
Right.
You can catch me over at bothdown.com. We just recorded an episode yesterday. It should be up probably, to be safe, by Thursday. It's continuing on that. We know that we have a lot of new listeners coming into the game of Blood Bowl with the re-release in 2020 around December. So we know there's a lot of new people around. So we kind of talk about the role-playing side of Blood Bowl, and we spotlight having, we talk about Dark Elves and like the history and the lore of Dark Elves in the Blood Bowl universe, going back to 2nd edition, 3rd edition, 4th edition and on. And then we also talk about how we came up with our teams and, kind of our themes and why we came up with that. Because like I said, we treat it like a sports role-playing game heavily. So if you're interested in all that, you can reach us over there, bothdown.com, and look for the new episode. I think it's 117. Here in a couple of days. So anyways, thanks for listening. Was that quiet enough for you guys?
Beautiful, man.
We could tell that you were putting on your late night radio DJ voice there.
Hey, thanks for tuning in.
Well, I want to make I want to hit the right spot with a certain
Woo!
demographic of people.
Hello.
And I got Dirk, so I mean, it's starting to work.
Taskforce Geek hitting all the right spots. All right. For me, go to facebook.com, Dark Cooper Artworks, if you want to see some of my stuff. And you can go to twitter.com, Dark Cooper Plus. You can see me there. And over on Ranking Studios, again, I just put up a page for doing commission work, like general audiences commission work, as opposed to the other stuff that I usually do in another life.
Yeah, he'll do $5 Polaroid nudes for you guys. So just let him know.
Yeah, you could go to my OnlyFans.
Oh, jeez.
Hey, by the way, OnlyFans isn't just that type of stuff. There have been people who released their exclusive music videos on there too. So, you know,
my stuff is mostly clean.
So
I would do exclusive stuff if people really wanted to pay me.
of course you would.
Hey, the $1 Million Man long ago taught me everybody has a price, and this daddy has kids to feed. So
I got five kids to feed.
It ain't going to cost you as much as it is to see Chris Evans back in the Shield. So let's talk to Scotty.
Boy, man, that's a good point. Hey, if anyone wants to mail stuff, go here. There it is. You can stop the videotape and get that. Does anyone have anything else they want to add?
I got a message about a week ago, like right after the show. Somebody said they saw some of one of the cards with my artwork on it on Super Show, and then
really?
as soon as I went to the link, it was gone. So they must have been like uploading stuff to sell at some future date. You know what I'm saying? Like getting files ready. It was one of the finishers that I did for my tag team with Jennifer, the 5-Star Mayhem.
Yeah.
So, and I know I don't know if I'm supposed to say it. Steve Risk sent me a picture that the cards did come in from the manufacturers. So I know it exists and it's close. So that might be good news for all of us, that maybe soon we'll get to actually touch and feel our cards and show them off here. So I'm hopeful within the next month or so, we'll see something like that.
Speaking as an artist, there's nothing that, for whatever reason, I've always been blown away when something gets printed. It's so much cooler than just having the image, even if it's something that you print and you put on the wall, or if it's something that's printed and distributed or whatever. It's so much cooler when it's printed. You can touch it and stuff. And so I am very excited to see our work on cards. I mean, like official.
Right.
That's pretty exciting.
I also got a printed copy of Age of Remnants this weekend, but I didn't show it off because Jennifer borrowed it. She wanted to read it. So
interesting.
I got I don't know if there's only a few printed editions out there or whatever, but somebody might have dropped that off at the comic store and I was really happy to get it. So
that's pretty sweet.
Yes, it's neat. So
pretty cool. Anything else, guys? We have no comments. It's time to wrap this thing up. You guys got anything else you want to say? It's time for all of us to go to sleep.
That's right.
Because we're old and we're scared.
Hey, you guys are old. You guys are the old guys. I'm the
old. Made in 1970.
All right. Well, thanks to the panel. Thanks you guys for being on here tonight. Thanks to everyone who's watching us. We sure do appreciate it. Check over at YouTube in a day or two. We'll have this episode up there. We sure do want to.
Thanks, Steve.
We sure do need your help. We need some likes and some comments and some shares on YouTube. That'll be up in a day or two. Hopefully tomorrow morning. But anyway, we'll see. Wait a minute. We got 2 comments now. Now everyone wants to comment. Oh, Wonder Woman Future State. Anyone read Future? Oh, that's a whole other subject.
No, I haven't read any of them yet. I heard pretty much everybody say it's definitely a cash grab since so many of those books are like $6.99 and
and they have
ridiculous
46 variant covers.
Well, the Batman one has 2 backup stories in it too, so it's not even all Batman, but I don't know. I heard the Wonder Woman one I talked to Brian, the shop owner at Wizards Asylum this weekend. Yeah. We actually worked together Sunday, and he said if you had to grab a book out of what's been put out so far, he said Wonder Woman is your best bet.
Who's doing that?
I don't know. It's very nice art. I couldn't tell you who's writing it or anything. So.
I know that guy that I like, Jorge Jimenez. I think I got that.
Oh, yeah.
He's doing something. I don't know if he's doing Batman or Justice League or whatever, but he's doing something. He says it's the best work of his life, and his work is really awesome. So I really want that. And I know that I put in for the Batman stuff because someone's doing that I was interested in. So anyway.
Go pick up your stuff then and let us know.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough, man. In Swamp Thing, there's a Swamp Thing Future State?
There's everything Future State. It's at least $4.99 or more.
Yeah.
I'm using this 3 months to cleanse the palate and save some money and buy better comics.
Unfortunately, I think that a lot of people are using this as an opportunity to get off the ride.
Yep.
Off the DC ride.
Hey, plus, WrestleMania is coming up in 2 years down here. And I've already decided it's time to save money. So, because I know how much money
tickets going on sale, man.
The day after WrestleMania in April this year. So
right. Well, we need to set up a Patreon for that, or OnlyFans, either one.
Right, a Kickstarter.
Hey, all I can say is, if you guys come down for it, I mean,
how much is that going to cost?
We just need $2,000.
It's about $250 a person.
We just need $2,000.
I'll just say for
$2,000.
WrestleMania 32, I set aside $2,500.
Oh, so we're gonna have to ask for $10,000.
So that was just
all four of us to go.
That was just for spending money. I had already gotten my ticket. That was just for spending money, wow. And I went crazy. I mean, I didn't have to go crazy, but I did.
Steve buried the lead. He said, I was on Raw last night.
He was in the digital crowd?
Okay. Yeah. So
I was talking to Sean about that. It's like, what do you got to do to get on that thing?
Just go fill out an application online.
So that's all it takes.
Yeah.
And then what? Just be available that evening or whatever.
Yep.
And
act like you care when the story suck. You gotta
go. Right. You gotta play the game, man.
Yeah. And I think you can't have fan signs or anything like that, or so. But it doesn't beat being there. I'm just going to tell you right now, it doesn't.
It can't.
Being there.
It can't possibly. It can't possibly. All right, we're wrapping it up, folks. Thanks to Scott. Thanks to Sean. Thanks to Walt. Thanks to all of you for watching us. Until next time, this is Dirk Hooper saying dream hard.